Daily Beast reporting today that the president has lost interest in passing gun control measures in the wake of the mass shootings down there earlier this month. According to the White House official, quote, this is from the White House, he started to move on. If we're up to the president, he'd do background checks today, but that's not how it works. And he loses patience quickly. That's somebody speaking for the president. Here's what the president himself had to say about background checks today.
We have very, very strong background checks right now. But we have sort of missing areas and areas that don't complete the whole circle. And we're looking at different things. And I have to tell you that it is a mental problem. And I've said it 100 times. It's not the gun that pulls the trigger. It's the person that pulls the trigger.
And when he was asked he would support the background checks bill the Democratic House has already passed earlier this year, he brought up the fact that his supporters believe in the Second Amendment.
We are in very meaningful discussions with the Democrats, and I think the Republicans are very unified. We are very strong on our Second Amendment. The Democrats are not strong at all in the Second Amendment. I would say they're weak on the Second Amendment, and we have to be careful of that. The Democrats would, I think they'd give up the Second Amendment. And the people that a lot of the people that put me where I am are strong believers in the Second Amendment, and I am also. And we have to be very careful about that. You know, they call it the slippery slope, and all of a sudden everything gets taken away. We're not going to let that happen.
Slippery slope is, of course, an often repeated NRA talking point to explain why no gun control measures ever get accepted by them. Well, the president spoke with NRA Chief Executive Wayne LaPierre on the phone this afternoon, according to NBC News. And I'm joined right now by Fred Gutenberg, father of Jamie Gutenberg, who was killed in the Parkland, Florida mass shooting. He's the founder of Orange Ribbons for Jamie and Orange Ribbons for Gun Safety. Thank you, Father. A father of a daughter. I can't imagine what you've been through and what you're going to get through more. What do you think of this president and his move-on notions that he's lost interest? It seems to be a pattern with him. I'll say all the right things for about a week, and then I'll fly back into the loving arms of the NRA.
Well, you know, listen, when you look at the totality of what he said today, I do want to say, first, I'm a Jewish person. I'm loyal. Some would say I'm smart, and I will not vote for this president. And I hope all Jewish people join me in condemning what he did, because he incites violence. And what he did today with his arguments against gun safety, that's who he is. He's a liar, okay? When America was at its weakest, he said, I'm listening, I hear you, I'm going to work with you. But give it a week or two, and he moves on. He did the same thing after Parkland. It's who he is. He's a liar. He can't be taken seriously. It is the reason why this current occupant of the White House cannot be dealt with on serious issues. We need to focus on McConnell. If we want to get anything done on this issue, put the pressure on McConnell. The current occupant of the White House is essentially irrelevant.
Well, according to the Daily Beast, the president has promised to tackle background checks before only to drop the idea once the mass shooting that precipitated his apparent interest faded from the news cycle. Here's what he told parents of the Parkland victims a week after that horrible shooting down there.
We're going to do something about this horrible situation that's going on, and we're going to all figure that together. So I want to listen, and then after I listen, we're going to get things done.
Mr. Gutenberg, I think of the president as a flight risk. Every time he says all the right stuff and then splits town, it's usually about a week to 10 days he figures the American front page will be on this issue. And the minute it seems to be off top of the fold front page, he goes over, and as I said, to the loving arms of Wayne LaPierre, reciting the stuff they've been putting out since dawn of mankind.
He had them memorized.
We're heading towards getting rid of guns. We got more guns than people. A lot more guns than people. We got so many semi-automatic rifles, assault rifles, you can't even deal with them anymore. Your thoughts?
You call it a flight risk. I call it pathological. But that's what he is. You know, he used the one argument that drives me crazy today, and it's the slippery slope. It is the ultimate NRA talking point. And to me, slippery slope really depends on where you stand. Now, I'm going to give you my version of the slippery slope. My daughter was born in 2003. In 2004, the ban on assault weapons was lifted. In 2005, the federal government put in place a law called PLCA, which removed the ability to hold gun manufacturers accountable. And then over the years since, you've had stand your ground laws and other laws that have made it easier for those who intend to kill to have weapons, and they're doing it to the point of the slippery slope now getting to 40,000 victims a year. That's a slippery slope. Wanting to do something about it and wanting to defeat these people and wanting to get Wayne LaPierre out of the president's ear and back to the expensive ranch that the NRA was going to buy for him is simply wanting to be responsible and fix this.
What do you feel like as a victim, a father, and what do you feel about the country? Because it's not just the NRA and the guys who grab the dues-paying money, but the people that embrace this organization and embrace what they seem to love the Second Amendment more than any of the other amendments I've noticed. But why? What do you think of these people?
You know what? Listen, I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. I have family members who own guns. I have friends who own guns. This is not a Second Amendment issue. Bullets don't know if you love the Second Amendment or they don't. They don't know if you're Republican or a Democrat. They just know if they hit you, they're likely to kill you. And so it's a moronic argument that is intended to keep things the way they are. And on that, there's no chance we can be okay with that. People are dying. I've said it on other interviews, but while I'm sitting here talking to you, there's someone learning they're a victim of gun violence, there's someone who just got done burying a victim of gun violence, and there's somebody planning a funeral for a victim of gun violence. It's not normal. They're wrong. This is not a Second Amendment conversation. This is about protecting our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and we can't let these people win. I am optimistic. If you look at Florida, the one person who ran statewide on gun safety was Nikki Fried. She won. If you look across the country, we flipped the House on this issue. And Mitch McConnell, get ready, because we're going to flip the Senate on this issue as well. You are about to be fired, sir.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to have you on. If you don't mind my saying so, you're doing everything you can for the memory of your daughter.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.